Okay. Can you see my screen? If you can say yes. Okay. So let us start. So let us recap what we have learned yesterday in the last session. So we were discussing on the important components in the computer science domain. So we discussed on the programming language, okay, and we discussed on the database, servers, cloud services, and algorithms, operating system, IoT platforms, and hardware programming. So these are the component what we have discussed last class. Is there any clarification required? If any clarification required, you can unmute yourself and you can ask any question on these components. Even you can post your question in the chat window. Okay. So since there is no question, I'll proceed. So these are the main components what we have to learn in computer science engineering. So let us move further. So where exactly we use programming? Okay, so uh, now if you consider a software, so what kind of software? Say for example, this video conferencing WebEx meeting, it is also software. So the software I have installed in my machine and also I have installed in my mobile. So these are all software. So to develop this particular software, we we have to use programming. So now you can see in the screen, there are different kind of things we can do. And say, for example, I can write desktop application. That means, whatever you run in your PC or laptop. So those are all, some kind of softwares, standalone software. You can develop standalone softwares using programming languages. And also you can develop mobile applications. Mobile application, you can develop mobile application for Android. You can develop application for, say, uh, WebOS or iOS, something like that. And also you can develop web applications that basically runs in the server, and you can write application for mechanical system. You can write application for, you can application for, medical instruments. So if you consider robot, so you have to use programming, the entire operation, okay, entire mode of the robot is defined using programming languages. And even if you consider, electric vehicle, the entire system you will be, defining, or defining using the programming languages. So one should see, whenever a programmer sees anything, he will see which programming languages might have used to develop that particular thing. Say example, to develop a software. So to develop a software, say standalone application, I can use something like, Java. I can use C, C++. Okay. So using these things, I can develop some standalone application. So if I see mobile app, so basically mobile app is developed using some JavaScript or, Java, or, if you take up some, say iOS, that will be developed using Objective-C. So for every application, programming language is different. Say if you consider a web application, so in the backend you may use some HTML kind of programming, or you'll be using some CSS, or you'll be using some JavaScripts. You'll be using some backend Java, or Python. So many things you'll use to develop web application. So if you consider robot, so you have to program, microprocessor, microcontroller. Okay, you'll be having some, SBCs. You have to program that SBCs. So you will be having some motors, okay, servo motors, all those servo motors you have to control. So hardware programming will be there. So that is also something, some kind of C programming. Okay, C++ programming we have to learn to write a program for robot. If you consider electric vehicle, okay, so it has its own ECU. So ECU basically you should write a hardware programming. You have to read different sensors. That means voltages you have to read. Based on that voltage, you have to take some decisions. So all these things are nothing but hardware programming. Okay, so no autonomous vehicle is coming. So that is completely programming. So entire operation, entire intelligence is exhibited through the programming. So that is what we have to understand. The programming, any application, anything, any product you see in the back end, it's a programming. Okay, so now that is why what you have to understand. So these are all some example where one can see the programming. Even if I'm seeing my laptop in front of me, the operating system is also kind of a software which is sitting on top of my hardware. So in that sense, we require programming. So basically, all operating system will be written using C++ programming language. So everything in the back end, one should visualize the programming what it is used. So that's why depending upon the product applications, we have to select some programming language. So the efficient or more suitable programming language we have to select and we have to learn. Okay, so that is the essence of this particular slide. So any clarification you required on this, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Okay. So next one is so many programming languages are there in market. Which one we have to select? That is the question mark. Now, if you see some programming languages, you have a Java, you have Python, you have JavaScripts. Nowadays, Python and JavaScripts are more popular, and you have a C programming, and Go is also emerging. Okay, so other scripting programming languages also you have. So which one we have to select? So now there are many factors you have to consider whenever you are selecting a programming language. So some factors are, so the programming language should be popular. Okay, popular in why it should be popular, because most of the people, most of the companies, most of the academician should use that particular programming language. Say for example, if you learned say Python, so then that should be useful when you go for job. So it should be popular. Now everybody should use that particular programming. So that is the first point what you have to consider whenever you are selecting a programming language. Second point, it should have a very rich library. A rich library in the sense, so it's all, we can't build a program using the primitive statements. So it should have the existing library. Say for example, it should have a mathematical library. So it should have some hardware interfacing library. It should have some graphics library. So if you can, so it should have a better interacting with operating system. So that kind of library. So it should have rich set of libraries, and it should have a very good community service. Okay, so the contribution to that particular programming language should be very high. So that kind of programming language one should take. Okay, so this is the second point what you have to consider. The third point is it should be free and open source. Okay, so try to select a programming language that should be free and open source. Okay, so say for example, some programming language, if you take up specific to some operating system, or for some devices where you have to pay for the compilers, you have to pay for other things. So you should not select that kind of programming language. So that programming language should be free and open source. The most important point is it should be portable. So portable in the sense you have different platforms. Okay. So in terms of operating system, in terms of server or cloud, so different platforms are there. So that programming language should run anywhere. So if you write a program in Windows, it should run in Linux. If you write a program in Linux, it should run Windows, Mac, or Android, or in any platform. That kind of programming language you one should select. So there are many other factors are there. I will explain in the later stages. So in this particular course, we are selecting Python for a reason. Okay, so definitely it is a popular, and also it has a very good library set, and also there are a lot of community forums are there. So people are contributing to this particular Python library, and even we can write a library and we can upload in the Python library repository. So
I have a question.
yes. Who is this?
This is Yusuf, sir.
Yeah,
Mohammed Yusuf.
Mohammed Yusuf. Yeah, please ask.
So, sir, why do we have so many programming languages, and why can't we have just one or two strong programming languages, and why can't everyone use only those two languages for all the devices and applications?
Okay, very good question. Now the thing is, why this kind of thousands of programming languages? Why can't they have only one programming language? See, the reason is, see, for example, if you consider Visual Basic, it is basically the say it's the programming language developed by Microsoft. It is their business actually. So now, if they go with some open source language, then what happens? They will lose that particular business. So to encourage to gain some profit, some people will develop their own programming language. At one point of a time, they will make it proprietary and they will make a money. Okay. So that is the point. Now see, Java earlier it was free. Now Oracle is taken, and a lot of some services they are providing for some cost now. Say they are charging. So now the thing is, whenever the library becomes stable, then they start charging the customer. So now the thing is, it's that's why I told even I can develop one programming language. It's not a big deal. Okay, I can start. I have to simply develop one compiler. That's all. Okay, so all programming languages are same. Okay, so ultimately it has to convert to binary. Everybody, we all know. So high level programming. These are all high level programming languages. So ultimately it has to convert to binary. So that binary is same. Whatever programming language you use, ultimately whatever it gives as an output is same. So that we call it as a binary program or executables. Okay, so it started with business, and also you see it say for example somebody likes C++ philosophy. Some people likes Python philosophy. So some people will contribute to Python. Okay, they felt that Python is simple, and if you develop any library, it is good. Some people felt, okay, I will develop JavaScript libraries. Okay, so initially say earlier Java, C++, and everything is restricted to standalone. Now the thing is, say Python is giving some option to develop standalone as well as web programming libraries. So now the thing is, because of this, multi-dimensional requirement, people started contributing in different programming languages. And also you see, already say some programming languages are already used by some companies, they cannot revoke. Say for example, Infosys, IBM, they invested a lot of money in, say, COBOL programming languages. It is very old, okay, and it is, it is not having any rich library, but still that is there in their mainframe systems. It's still people are working on mainframes and COBOL programming, so that still that exists. So now the thing is, it is very difficult for them to migrate. So whatever programming languages they selected and they started using. So now the thing is that become absolute, but still they have to use. And I mean, they have to develop some security, patches, and they have to enhance. So like that, so many other programming languages are coming. And say, for example, tomorrow somebody says, I developed one programming language. Using that programming languages, within 5 minutes, you can prepare a mobile application. So immediately, what people will do, they immediately boycott this Java or JavaScript. They will go for that. So that is what happening in the programming languages area. So that's why programming languages are increasing. So that's why we have to carefully select the programming language itself. Okay, so now say for example, if I want to develop any application, at least 5 programming languages have to learn. I have to use that programming languages to develop the develop some application. That is the situation now. I cannot use one programming language. So lot of things are there. Okay, so that's why I say, okay, so voluntarily you have to learn many programming languages. Say now, see, I see. Anyway, Python is popular now, but JavaScript programming is emerging. Many JavaScript platforms are coming, which is competing now. So many people are contributing to this. So I don't know what happens in future. So Go programming language is also emerging. So it may overtake. So that's why. So some idea we should have, some basic program we have to do, and we have to inline to the technologies, what in whatever it is emerging. So that we have to understand. So basically what I can say is C++, okay, is the programming language everybody uses in many applications. Okay, like development of operating system and all those things will be done using C++. But next level onwards, I mean, it's not that easy. Okay, it takes a lot of effort to develop some applications. So that's why people go for some programming languages which has some library. Okay, say C++, I don't have an image processing library. Okay, so I'll go for MATLAB. Okay, which is very easy. Within 1 or 2 lines, I can write a code. I can extract some face recognition and all those things. So Python. So machine learning is very good in Python. So that is not available in Java. So this kind, I'm not telling it is not available. It is a bit difficult in Java like that. So people will start comparing the application libraries, and they will select the programming languages. So it evolved in a different way. So each and every programming language has its own pros and cons. So that is what we have to understand. Okay, so now the thing is, if you want to develop iOS, so only one option is there in front of you is Objective-C. So they have developed that programming languages. They are contributing to that programming language, the company. So now the thing is, other people cannot, enter into that particular business. So many factors are there. Yusuf, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we will discuss further. We'll discuss if at all any questions are there. Yeah. Any question from the forum?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sir,
Please
this is
tell your name and
Ashwin Abraham, sir.
yeah, Ashwin.
Sir, now considering that there are so many languages, is it more efficient to learn multiple languages or just pick one and be a master at that?
Okay, you mean to say that there are many programming languages? What's the question? It's good to learn many programming languages. That's the question.
No, sir, is it better to learn many programming languages or just to take, for example, Python and become a master at Python? Or is it better to know something of every language?
Okay, very good question. So for that, my answer would be T. Okay, so you have to understand this particular thing. You should know. T means you should have a mastery in one subject, and you should know all the programming language. So you should know all the programming language, and in one programming language, you have to go deeper. You understood, na? So now when you do like that, what happens? See, at any point of a time, you should be in a position to switch. Okay, say I already told using one programming languages, we can't do anything. Okay, so from last say 15 years, I'm into this programming domain. So almost all the programming languages I touched. Okay, I'm coding, but still it takes say say last week I saw the Go programming language, so I took it uh, took that particular work and I started learning. So it took only 2 to 3 days to learn that particular programming language. So that syntax, what it can do, what library it has, to do all those exploration, I required 2 to 3 days. Now that means I will keep that in a mind, so and like that I'll explore all the programming languages. So in one programming languages you have to go in deeper. So that is what my suggestion. So you should not leave any programming language. So then it will be you cannot say there may be some simple way, maybe there in some other programming languages to do some work. Okay, so if you are not exploring, you cannot understand that particular thing. So that's why if you want to select a programming languages, you have to go and you have to explore and you have to come back. So I mean, it's take it from my end. It's easy to understand any programming language. So you have a very good analytical skill. So definitely you can take up now. That's what I said. This programming languages cannot be learned through this like teaching and learning. It's not a teaching and learning. You have to take the laptop and you have to spend some time in programming languages. So it takes a lot of time. You have to spend a lot of time in programming language. Okay, so you have to spend more time. That means more programs you have to write. Okay, all the programming languages you have to try. Okay, and the best programmer is the one who knows errors. Okay, so you thousands and lakhs of errors you have to encounter. Whenever you are writing some program, some error should come. You should know why that error is coming. Like that, the good programmer will be will be knowing errors. So that if this error comes, I have to do this. Okay, so this is the limitation of this programming language. I should not use. So that kind of experience you have to attain. So that's why now I'm teaching, but in the next coming sessions, it's all kind of practice, hands-on programming demonstration, that kind of thing. So at least somewhere it will be useful, not like conversation. So you have to spend a lot of time. Okay, with by undergoing this course, definitely you cannot become master in some programming language. So try to remember this one. So you have to spend a lot of time. Okay, so anyway, the answer is Ashwin, it's T. You have to go around all the programming languages and you have to you should gain mastery in one programming language. Is that answer is okay?
Yes.
Okay, Ashwin? Yeah. And anybody have any questions on the computer technologies, the applications, and programming languages? You should ask questions, you should ask questions. So now what you should know as a student of electrical domain, see in future electric vehicles are coming. Okay, smart grid is coming. So these electric vehicles and smart grid is basically electrical plus ICT. Okay, so electrical domain knowledge you require to build that particular hardware or system or circuit. And also you required ICT knowledge. ICT means information communication technologies. That word I is there, na, information. So information means all these covers. You should know software, you should know mobile application, you should know web application. All this comes under, all these computer technologies comes under that particular word information. Okay, so ICT combined with say for example vehicle, it will become some kind of electric vehicle, autonomous vehicle. So this entire ICT, okay, plus the power system will become smart grid. Okay, so already the you can forecast the business of electric vehicle, and you can forecast the opportunities what will be created in future. And also with respect to smart grid also, lot of opportunity will be created in future. So already government of India invested on some 7 to 8 pilot projects. They invested some crores of rupees, and they move towards implementing the smart grid. So that is nothing but you should have a very strong hold in this computer technologies to understand that particular smart grid. You required the knowledge of this computer technologies to understand electric vehicle. So then your work will become easy, and you can lot of opportunity will come to you. Okay, so that is my estimate in the electrical for electrical students. Yeah, any clarification? So now I thought of giving the next with that. So I'll just close this one. Just a second, give me. So can you see my screen? Okay. So this is the next task what I'll take up. So now I just covered some introduction to you. Okay. So next session I will be taking this environmental setup. So I'll just tell you what I'm going to do in the next session. So basically the installation. Okay, so the setup required to execute our programs. So I am just recommending some online as well as some online setups, environment setup. So we have to create this environment in our system. So how to create online environment. Okay, so to execute our programs, and what offline tools we have to install in your machine to execute our programs. So that is what I'll discuss in detail. So anyway, I have uploaded all these things in LMS. Okay, so if you get any time, okay, so try to explore all these things, and try to do by your own. Okay, and also I just posted on questionnaires. So attend that questionnaires, and also I posted activities. Okay, so complete that particular activities. These are all ungraded activities, but in future these activities are strongly connected to your assessment activities. So you have to do all these things. Okay, So that is what I'll take up in the next session. So how to create a environment for Python programming language. Then we'll start Python. So from basics, we'll start Python, and then a very important libraries we'll understand. So that is what we do in this particular subject. Okay. So today we'll stop at this particular point, but you need to ask questions. So I did not get any question from anybody. So everybody should ask questions. See, this is a broad area, broad top overview I have given on the computer engineering domain. But next session onwards, I may go only with respect to Python. But you should ask questions on other component as well. So anybody have any experience in Python? I'll take another 2 to 3 minutes. Anybody have experience in Python? So anybody practicing any programming language? And any difficulty you faced? And any confusions you have in computer science domain and electrical domain or some interdisciplinary work?
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, yes.
Most of these programming languages use OOPS concept, yeah.
John, yes.
So if you know the OOPS concept, it's more than enough to write in any sort of program. Why knowing all these different programs?
Very good question, but it's very important question. OOPS, okay, object-oriented programming. Okay, so if we learn, then we can write any program. That is the question. Only we have to learn OOPS. That is not the correct thing, correct concept. See, you have a structured-oriented programming language. You have a object-oriented programming language. You have a functional oriented programming language. You have a a programming language associated with the optimization. So you have a programming language associated with some intelligence. Okay, so there are different kind of paradigms are there. Now see, this Python or MATLAB, these are all multi-paradigm programming languages. So that means you can do all the things using these programming languages. So that is also one factor what you have to see. So these programming languages comes under 5th generation programming languages. If you type in Google 5th generation programming language, you will get some information. So that means you should be in a position to write a scripting. So we can do scripting in MATLAB and Python. We can write a say object-oriented OOPS in Python. In MATLAB also we can write OOPS. We can write structured-oriented programming languages in both. We can write functional programming language. There is intelligence in the compiler, and there is optimization in the programming language. So all these things are there in this particular 5th generation programming languages. This Python and MATLAB, these are some examples which comes under 5th generation programming language. So that's why OOPS is not the only criteria to select a programming languages. Basically, we have to select a multi-paradigm programming platforms. So that is the John. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So just remember, multi-paradigm programming platform. Yeah. Any other questions? If you have, please ask. Yeah. So see, that's what somebody is telling. Very weak in programming. Okay. So now it's not like that. Okay. So if you're don't feel that you are weak. Okay. So to take up this course, you no need to know anything. So prerequisite is not C++, prerequisite is not C. It's not something like that. So if you if you try to learn, you will definitely get it. So it is also required. Say programming is very essential. So and also, what is the concern of our HOD sir? Our HOD sir concern is tomorrow you will be sitting on the placement test. Normally, lot of questions will come in the programming. So they will ask some Java program. They will tell me the output like that. They will ask. So that's why. And even if you go for the core domain also, they will tell you to write program, and they will tell you to do some simulation work. And that kind of work only is there nowadays. So that's why we somehow we have to push ourselves, and we have to develop a good skill in programming languages. So don't feel that you are a weak in programming language. So, but definitely we can work together to improve your skill. That is the very, that is the direction what our HODs are given. So at any cost, we have to improve the programming skill of our student, so that whenever they go to the placement test, they should perform well. So now currently they are going, but because after seeing all programming, they are coming back. So that kind of issue happening. But for you, it should not happen. So we have to practice. Okay. So that is what I do. I also do. I'll take up a lot of interview questions and placement papers. Okay. In that direction also, I'll try to teach, so that you should feel comfortable whenever you are working along with the computer science engineers. So don't worry. We'll improve. Practice, only practice. Please practice. We have to practice. Okay. So yeah, one person knows the basics of Java. Okay. So yes, good. So definitely Java. Okay. Or C++. If you have some concepts, okay, you can learn anything. Okay. So all are same only. No, it's nothing difference. All are same. In fact, it becomes easier. So Java, say for example, to write addition program, we written something like a 10 lines. Now, as you go further, okay, it will become simpler. Okay, so that's why if you have a Java programming knowledge, then okay, so your entire learning will become simpler. Okay, no problem. Good. Yeah, please. If anybody have any question, please ask. See, you have to showcase the positive gesture, and whenever you ask questions, so I feel that you are attentive. So I I will definitely support you. Okay, if you interact, so your interaction is required. I should also I should know your level requirement and all those things. Anyway, I'll pass the survey sheet, but still you have to talk. Okay, whether you know, you don't know, you don't want to learn, you want to learn something, you have to learn something, you don't want to learn. All those things you have to tell to me. So because this is the initial stage, I need to build this particular course for you. Okay, I should not build in some other direction. So that is the whole idea. So any questions? Yeah, fine. So I'll tell you, don't think this is only 40 minutes or 30 minutes. So we can't do anything. So hours together you have to sit to learn the programming language. So at least focus on that particular thing. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, you can go to Moodle. So you have to be whatever I'm posting, I won't inform. So all the components will keep on coming in the Moodle. You have to take up. There will be a time bound. If I post a quiz, even I don't inform the quiz timings is this and all. So you just have to, every day you have to see the Moodle, okay, and you have to take up all the components. If you miss that one, I cannot reopen those components again. So try to see what components are there in Moodle. Okay, Moodle I'll be using for the entire assessment, quizzes, practice sessions, okay, assignment, everything I'll post it in Moodle. Okay. So thank you all for your attention to this class. So we'll see in the next class. So now I'm closing the recording. Okay, if anybody have any